Hey, how you doing? I made my first testimony video for you. It actually came out to be like 40 minutes long because I did from pretty much started from the beginning and went to where I'm at today. But it came out to 40 minutes. But I remember you asked me what was I like before I got saved, so I figured I'd make you this one first, and then if you want to go watch the other one, you can, and I'll send that one to you. But to put it bluntly, before I got saved, I was raised in and out of church, and so I had some inkling of what people said, would tell me who and what God was. So yeah, pretty much one of the things that kind of pushed me into the life that I ended up leading before I got saved was my experience. Something I don't wish upon anyone, but I was molested at a young age. Pardon me. I was molested at a young age, and by a family friend, and it kind of messes with your head, when you're that young and you experience something like that. But I guess to put it bluntly and shortly, I lived a life, what some people call a party life. I smoked, I drank, I smoked weed, and I used to do pills and all these other stupid things. More weed than anything, but I lived that life. I was always angry all the time, and I hated who I was. I couldn't stand the person that I used to look at in the mirror and stuff like that. So in 2004 my house burnt down, and at that time I was about 12 or 13, and I was saved. I gave my life to Christ about a year and a half before our house had burnt down when I was 14 years old. And in 2004, our house burnt down. My dad's company, he started declining and everything. And so, and when our house burnt down, our school kicked us out too, to kind of just, throw salt in the open wound. So all that stuff went down, and, my family, we ended up living hotel to hotel for the next 6 years. And, through that, man, we were always at each other's throats. Everybody was depressed and, just angry and all these other different things. And so, I was looking, I was like, what? I needed something. So I just looked for options of what could make me feel better, and that was it. I found my way out through drugs and through people, and I was in a 2-year relationship with this girl that I met through a mutual friend, and ended up having sex with her, and losing my virginity to her, and knowing where I'm at now and where I stand at spiritually, I regret that, because of knowing what I know now. That was something that belonged to my wife, that because of the life I was living at the time, I threw away. But, praise God, His mercies is new every day, and, I'm a new person, and so I'll have something new to give to my wife. And since that moment, I haven't been in a relationship, nor have I engaged in these sexual activities of that sort, But, anyways, so I was in a 2-year relationship with her, and just trying to find all these different outlets to make me feel better, to kind of fill that void of that anger and the hurt and just the depression that I felt. And so I'm thinking and through all this, like I said, we lived the next 6 years, just motel to motel to motel. And, just dealing with all these things at once, you know. And again, like I said, I hated who I was, and I did nothing but tear myself down. Even when somebody tried to build me up, I'd tear myself down, you know. And but yeah, and so you know, it's just everything got so bad that everything just got so bad that I began to contemplate suicide. You know, the enemy started coming in and said, look at everything around you, and just, you know, you're a burden more than you are of anything. You know, you're causing them more trouble than good, and so why don't you just, you know, kill yourself, take yourself out of the picture, and they'll be better off without you. And you know, and I believed it. You know, I believed that, and so I was like, yeah, that's what I need to do, because then if I do that, you know, things will get better for them. You know, because that's what the devil put in my head. You know, that's what he told me. If I took myself out of the picture, man, things would get so much better for my family. And so, one Saturday morning, everybody was going out for breakfast, and they asked me, they go, do you want to go? And I was like, no, I don't feel good, I'm just going to stay here. And so I stayed at our motel and waited about an hour for them to go. And then I took a piece of pen and paper and I began writing on it my letter, telling them goodbye and that I love them, and you know, I'm doing this to make things easier for them, and etc., etc., etc. And I love them. And then I got dressed and I walked outside of our hotel door, and we lived on the third balcony of this motel. And so I went ahead and climbed over the railing, and you know, just kind of dangled there, or just not dangled, but kind of had my feet planted on the rail, and my hands were on the rail as well. And I was sitting there with my eyes closed, and immediately the enemy just started coming at me and pushing me just to let go, you know, just let go, you know, you're almost there, everything, you know, as soon as you do this, things will start getting better for them, you know, just let go, just let go. And so I had tears just coming down my face, and I just took a deep breath, and I let go of one hand, and I still had my eyes closed, and I had about 3 fingers with one hand, and I was just ready to lean out and just, sorry, I got close, but I was ready to lean out and just let go. And then all of a sudden, this maid came by with her cart and just yelled out, no, you know, stop. And so I immediately snapped out of it, just pulled myself back, and you know, I had just these tears running down my face, and I crawled back over and I just hit the ground, and I laid there, and she kind of walked over and just started hugging me. And you know, after that, you know, I still had the thoughts of doing it, but I didn't, you know, I never made another attempt at it. But you know, I continued just living the life I lived. And then later on comes into the next part of my testimony, you know, God just started calling me in. And you know, anyways, but this is just some of the story of before I got saved. You know, like I said, you know, I was in a relationship with a female that was not a relationship found on the right reasons of any sorts. And so you know, but if you need anything else, you let me know. Like I said, I have one with all my testimony, so you know, but here's just the bigger parts, I guess, if we will. You know, there's other stuff in between there, and even when I was saved, there's stuff in between that stuff too, you know, of stuff that I struggled with. But you know, also, you know, because I had, you know, I began to accumulate self-esteem issues. Even though I was in a relationship and I had a girlfriend and everything, I had self-esteem issues. And so I replaced all that. So I would start replacing certain things, and I replaced one thing with pornography, you know. And so there was a time where I, you know, had an addiction to pornography, but, you know, praise God, He's delivered me from that too, you know. But these are just some of the things, you know, that I went through. You know, if there's more, just let me know. So I tell you, it's your turn now. You know, if you feel the need to share, like I have. And so I made this video because I don't like texting, especially when it comes to my testimony. I'd rather tell somebody face to face. That way, you know, they can really sense, you know, where I'm coming from. So, dude, if you want to know more, just let me know. So, here you go. You're welcome. And I'll holler at you later. Deuces, homie. I'm a nerd.